Hello and welcome to another episode here on the Skiing is Believing podcast, brought to you officially by Ski Racing Media. Alan and I are here today, this week, in August, to talk about live ski racing that has happened. That has happened this week. In this episode, we'll review the races from Mt Hutt, the first of the New Zealand Cup events and the first of the South America Cup events from Ushuaia, Argentina. And Alan, there's been some familiar names in those races.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. And good to see a couple of Brits as well.
Good to see a couple of Brits, as ever. But before we head to the Southern Hemisphere, some news that has broken this week. Big news, yet another ski transfer. The summer window is not yet up in ski racing, much as it isn't in the football. And the latest big switch is that of Ester Ledecka, who after 4 years on Kaestle has moved over to head to become the fifth marquee rebel signing of this summer. Alan, your first thoughts on this move?
Well, I'm not surprised. Everybody seems to be jumping on the bandwagon. Or if you like, everyone is heading for the same skis. But, you know, she obviously feels that it's going to improve her performance. And if you think of her, to improve her performance, then she's going to be up there. She's going to be one to be reckoned with, no doubt about that.
Yep. In the head press release that they released this week, she touches on, fighting for globes and how Head fully believe that she can be in those battles again. A few years now, I think 2020, she was runner-up in the World Cup downhill standing, something that you kind of forget just how consistent she has been over the course of her career, with 4 victories to her name. Of course, the 2018 Olympic Super G gold in Pyeongchang is what she's most known for in the ski racing world, at the very least. And of course, it's a double deal really for Head as well with the snowboard.
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, you think she'll carry on with snowboard?
Yeah, I think a lot of people would say this to Ester Ledecka. A lot of people would say, why wouldn't you just pick one? And I'm sure she's been asked that many, many times throughout her career. But I think the fact that she can alternate and she can kind of pick and choose which she does just completely gives her that freedom, and that she can go, I'm not feeling it on the skis. Let's go and win a parallel giant slalom snowboard race anywhere in the world. Yeah. And there's a few times that she's done that. It's like, I haven't had a good St. Moritz. I'm going to go and win a World Cup in China on the snowboard before the speed season gets properly started.
Yeah.
In terms of like a World Cup running season, I think she has kind of fully committed to alpine skiing now. But we saw her try to do at the Olympics what she did in 2018 again in Milano Cortina, and it didn't quite work in either discipline. And I think when they're both going well, they're both going really well.
Yeah.
When she's winning snowboard races, don't be surprised if she wins some more ski races. Is all I'll say. We touched on Head there and how big they are, and this year they have got bigger. There's no doubt about that. But to go the list of signings that they have now produced, just to remind you: Henrik Kristoffersen, Alice Robinson, Lara Kulturi, Kristofina Hoffa, and now Ester Ledecka. It's very hard to see them not winning the Constructors' Championships.
It is. Yeah, I think even without them, they would have been favourites to win it. But with them, they're going to be super favourites, I think. Yeah, I don't think anyone is going to come anywhere near, to be quite honest.
I would imagine there's a lot of people offered that contract now. If you were offered that contract now as a ski racer, you almost can't say no. Yeah. The team they've got and the gear is clearly working for several of the top guys, and the sheer pedigree, the amount of World Cup points they've scored, the amount of podiums and victories over not even just last season, but further beyond that as well, is hard to turn down, I would imagine.
I would say so, yeah.
Big program going on there, and a very successful one.
Yeah.
So all the best to Ester. We'll hope to hear more from that, and I suppose she won't be racing until December, actually.
No.
Have a bit of time to wait.
But she's got plenty of time to get used to them, to get the settings she wants. Get them set up exactly as she wants.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask about Kaestle, because she's their main girl, as a Czech brand owned by a Czech guy, I believe.
that's
a bit of a kick in the teeth, isn't it, to lose their marquee athlete?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, yeah. You can't say much about it. It's just unfortunate for them. They probably, but there's a few. Let's face it. When you get a mate like Head, who's snapping up all the biggies, then they're going to suffer a little bit. The smaller ones, aren't they? There's only so many.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll concentrate more on the leisure industry.
Maybe.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, you're trying to push Head out of that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is difficult.
Well, as we speak now, not all of the races have been completed in New Zealand. We're waiting for one more event from Mt Hutt, which we will cover in part 2 of this episode. But in part 1, let's start in Cerro Castor, Ushuaia, Argentina, where the women and men have been on giant slalom and technical races, starting with Monday's first competition, won by Germany's Nico Palomares, ahead of Switzerland and the new world junior champion on the slalom skis, Giuliano Fuchs, who was racing there at World Cup finals.
Yeah.
And he tied in second with established World Cup giant slalom skier, also from Germany, Jonas Stockinger. And I have got a little story on Palomares, the winner of this race. He was racing for America and changed his allegiances in 2022, and now represents the ski club of Garmisch. He then finished third in the German nationals at the GS last year, which, you think about the strength of their giant slalom team in the minute, is no mean feat.
Yeah.
And to go out here and, well, I'll tell you, he's not just won the first race, he's won both of the giant slaloms this week. Maybe one to keep your eye on there, Al.
Yeah, one to watch.
Only 22.
Yep.
It was actually his birthday last Saturday, so what a week he's had.
He's had a super week.
Super week.
Yeah, he has.
And I would also say that about Fuchs, the young Swiss athlete, 21 he is, on Fischer skis, World Cup debut at finals, and a strong series for him to kick off the season. But we wanted to touch on fourth and equal fifth place, because there's two Spaniards there. Firstly, the young Vandia athlete Alex Albert Saracanta and Albert Ortega, Alan, the Spanish team.
Yeah. Yeah,
they've arrived again.
Yeah, they're getting stronger and stronger.
I feel like we say this every summer, and then they just don't quite make it.
Yeah, it's a possibility. And he's on the head, is he?
Alex Albert Saracanta is Vandia, Ortega's Rossi.
Ah, right, Vandia, yeah. So they must see something in him.
Marcel signed him at 18.
Yeah,
and he doesn't do that for nothing.
No. I must admit, we've watched them, and they do. They are progressing very well.
Yeah. Albert, I think, was in the World Cup points again this year.
Yeah,
yes, 25th in Adelboden.
Yeah.
And 23rd in Copa. He had the best season in terms of World Cup. And looking to build that consistency, he finished equal fifth, as I mentioned, with Eddie Hallberg, Alan.
No, there's a guy.
And apparently not just a slalom guy.
No, he's branching out onto the GS.
Yeah,
which is good to see. I'm still expecting him to shine more on slalom.
Yeah, of course.
But you never know.
I mean, we saw him qualify for second running giant slalom in Schladming.
Yeah,
one of the hardest and certainly the iciest that day in January.
Yeah.
He's done it and raced it at World and Olympics. His first few World Cup starts were GSs.
Yeah.
Before he burst onto the scene. Like, he has serious potential to become a very strong two-discipline skier.
Yeah. I think he's a type who does like that very hard surface.
So he's grown up with.
Exactly, yeah.
We mentioned the Germans, with three of them in the top 7. There were 3 Finns in the top 10, with Turo Torvinen 8th and Jesper Pohjalainen 10th, which is a good day at the office for the Finns. In terms of the home races, Tiziano Grabbier in 12th on home snow for Argentina. Moving over to the women's event, and the Americans were able to do a 1-2 on day 1. Katie Rohrkamp winning just 1,500ths ahead of teammate Kirsty Moritz, with Germany completing the podium with World Cup giant slalom and, I believe, Super G points scorer in her career already, Fabiana Dorigo. Sorry, so far just GS, but she has started Super Gs. In third, with 3 Germans in the top 5, Romy Oertel 4th, Jana Fritz 5th. But let's talk about these young Americans, particularly if you don't know the story, Katie Rokamp. But firstly, Alan, they're so talented, these American girls, all the way down to the C, the development team, the regional teams, just producing so much.
Yeah. Which is great. I mean, when you look at the girls at the top, you think maybe that'll put the younger ones off. You know, that encourages them to get into it. But you think, they might think, oh, we're never going to get in this. But it doesn't. It's the opposite. They all want more of it. They all want to get in on the act.
We said this about the Norwegian men. Like, imagine now being a slalom skier who's 20 from Norway, trying to get a World Cup start, let alone points or a podium. A start is just so difficult to pick up those positions. But these athletes from America are just turning up. Katie Rokamp, who won this race, is out of Birk Mountain Academy, runner-up in the NORAM Super G standings last season at 16.
Yeah. It's great. I'm sure there's a lot of other countries which they had the, what do we call it, conveyor belt?
The conveyor belt. I don't think I've ever used a conveyor belt metaphor with America, though.
No.
But it's very relevant at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
As for Kirsty Moritz, out of the Middlebury College ski team, the 21-year-old, her and her sister live actually separate. Liv's racing in New Zealand, she's in Argentina, but that's because they're in separate training groups. Kirsty finishing second here is a very good start to the series. Dorigo, Oertel and Fritz all there for Germany. 2 Argentinians at home in the top 10. Fran Baruthi Fariol 8th and Nicole Begu, who went to the Olympics, finishing 10th. Day 2 was giant slalom on the schedule again, and it was the same top 3 on the men's side. Nico Palomares winning this time by over half a second ahead of Fuchs, with Stockiger taking 3rd, 9/10 off the pace. 4th position went to Italy and Lorenzo Tomasbini. Mia Urshaban, the young Slovenian, finished 5th ahead of Albert Ortega, with the Germans finishing with 5 in the top 9. Wow. Palomares first, Stockinger 3rd, then 7th, 8th and 9th for Lucas Kraus, Dominik Zerhock and Marinus Senhofer. So you might have to get used to these names.
Yeah, probably.
And even on the giant slalom side, Anton Grammel, who's an established name, down in 12th, and Hannes Arman, who's started World Cups in his career, 16th. So these German boys really, some of the younger athletes, some of the kind of Europa Cup team showing the World Cuppers how to do it down there.
And they seem to do that, don't they? Quite often you get that in these, I don't like saying second races, but you know what I mean? Outside the World Cup.
The Continentals.
Yeah, outside the World Cup, you get quite a lot of World Cup racers who don't find it, well, they use it to train. You know.
Here's something to note. I don't think this is very well aware. People aren't made very aware of this, but the head coach of the Spanish team is Alan Baxter's brother.
Oh, is it?
No. He was a course setter of the second run on Tuesday. Didn't quite come together for Albert Serraquenta or the other Spaniards, with Albert Ortega finishing in 6th. It was a DNF in the first run there for Alex, by the way. Over on the women's side, it was the US again, but it was Kirsty Moritz this time getting the victory. Over a second ahead of Fabiana Dorigo, and Dora completed the podium with Iria Medina Girones. 4th for Fritz, and Germany again. 5th, Alan, another American, Mary Bocock.
All right, yeah. Another great American. Will be, I'm sure.
And this is another one. Elizabeth is in New Zealand.
I was going to say was Elizabeth.
Mary is in Argentina.
Oh, right.
But that's because they're in separate giant slalom groups. Obviously, Mary's in the World Cup Super G group, but not for giant slalom. So that's why those results are separate, if you were wondering. Yeah. Mary Bocock, could she be a 3-discipline skier?
It's quite possible. It's quite possible she's going to take...
look at how she got her downhill skates on at some time last season.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a possibility because, and let's face it, there's probably a gap there for her. You know, in the American team.
Yeah,
for the 3
in terms of an all-rounder, yeah.
Yeah.
I think like Keely Cashman's tried to do it and done okay, but the GS World Cup starts haven't quite been there. I know she still trains a lot of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone to come in and at 22, so much time to
exactly
spread her wings across whatever she wants.
Yeah.
I think she probably still trains slalom every now and then.
Yeah, she might end up doing 4.
Yeah, a lot of the athletes do. That's it for the giant slaloms from Argentina. Coming to Wednesday when the slalom program started and the women went first, and it was Andorra who got the victory in this one. Carla Mijares-Ruff, who scored her first World Cup points in December when she finished 18th in that mad race in Semri. She finished 0.37 of a second ahead of Annika Hunt. More on her in a moment. And third went to the other American, Annika Johansson, with... This was the race, wasn't it? 4 Americans in the top 5.
Yeah.
5 Americans in the top 7. Of the top 8, we had 5 Americans, 2 Brits, and the Andorran winner, Mijares-Ruff, which I mentioned there, which is just gold for us, for ski racing media. This is just what we hope from this series.
Excellent, yeah. Can we just mention the 2 Brits?
Can we? Gigi Gorringe, 6th place for Great Britain. 8th place went to Liv Howson, who went to World Juniors. You might remember the team parallel event. She was there with Molly Butler and Freddie and Zach Carrick-Smith.
Yeah.
Put down a good run that day, and you wanted to chat around Gigi and Liv.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, like, we're talking about America having the strength. It's good to see the GBs athletes out there putting it out. Let's hope they can make the progress. This is the difference, I think. The Americans seem to, the US, they've got a massive team, strong team, but they make progress. And no disrespect to ours, but they don't seem to make the same progress in the shorter space of time.
No, but this is the other thing as well, that a lot of national team programs are now completely backing. It doesn't matter if you've not made it at 28.
No.
If you're still ski racing and you're still turning up and popping in results, and obviously the margin is important at times, which some of these races, yes, they do have big margins, but that takes away from the fact that they are there, showing up, training, working their absolute hardest. And one day it may just come.
Oh, yeah.
And when that day comes, it'll all be worth it.
Yeah.
And I think Dave Rydin, not just nationally, but globally, is the best example of that we've ever seen.
Yeah. It can be done. It can be done.
Just a shout out for those Americans, though. Annika Hunt, Annika Johansson, Viktoria Zaytseva, Carissa Cassidy, and Katie Rokam, 2nd to 5th and 7th. Wow.
There's a lot to be said about the saying success breeds success. Really.
Yeah. And these... You might look at these start fields if you have checked out the results yourself, and you might look at the size of the start field as less than 30 in some cases in the women's. You might look at the margins and think, well, they're 3, 4, whatever seconds off. But they are so important, these races, for start positions, for FIS points and ranking, and especially with the FIS point rule following this change coming into the 26-27 season, that if you haven't raced in disciplines that aren't your number 1 discipline, then your position starting will have dropped significantly. I remember speaking to Leo Angenot at finals saying, I'm going doing some slaloms so I can move my way up that start list if I get a World Cup opportunity next season. So for these people that maybe giant slalom or slalom isn't their number 1 discipline, but they're going in there, they're getting good Continental Cup points. I mean, the top 10 is what? 30-odd points? And that's going to not only improve their start position if they're going on to race in the SA Cup again, but also when they come to Europe and Europa Cups or NORAMs or even World Cups next season. So I just wanted to get that across and make sure that was clear. As for the men's event on that day, that was Switzerland's day. Giuliano Fuchs getting the victory ahead of, by 7/10 of a second, Jesper Pohjolainen of Finland. Switzerland rounding out the podium a 2.5 behind his teammate Reto Mekla, who is really, really one to watch. But you wanted to touch on Jesper and the Finns.
Yeah, it's good to see another Finn coming through. And I'm sure he will. and he'll be dragged through with Eddie. He'll be looking up to Edward and say, "You did it, I can do it," and Edward will be saying, "I did it, you can as well," and it'll rub off on each other.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like Edward Alderberg at the moment is probably the only one who's always, well, he's always a chance of getting a podium. Whereas if you get somebody else coming in as well,
he had 2 point scores last season on World Cup.
Yeah,
Poyalainen.
Yeah.
Very close to the points in Levy, wasn't he? 31st.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But as he progresses, that will give even Eddie more impetus to get up there, to keep up there, and fetch the other guy up. Yeah, it's great.
I think it's helpful for Eddie. Very helpful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these smaller teams, you think of someone like Popov, there's no one really in Bulgaria that can score World Cup points.
No.
I don't think so, anyway.
No. That's not an important.
But if you know that this guy who can beat me in training, who can score World Cup top 20s, top 15s, I'm sure that's on Jesper's bingo card for next season, then, if I'm beating him by a second, then I'm at a good level. Yeah. If you beat him by a second, that's in the top 10.
Yeah, there's a lot of these skiers who actually, in training, get very, very, very close.
Yeah,
to the World Cup skiers.
Well, what does Henrik always say? I never win a training run.
Yeah,
he never wins trainings.
It's when they get in that start gate in the World Cup, they've got to have that mindset and that belief in the fact that they can actually do it there as well as on the training.
Yeah. Another shout out for the Germans. I think it just has to be said. 4th for Marius Senhofer in this one. 5th for Lucas Kraus, and 7th for Fabian Himmelsbach. Just always there in these races. They even had Alexander Schmid down in 13th, putting on the slalom skis.
Yeah.
The giant slalom specialist.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for him, though, isn't it? For the lesser known ones to have a go.
Schmid is that perfect example of reducing his slalom points, because he'd be starting 70 odd in Levy if he was to go to there.
Yeah.
So let's come to Thursday, today, as we record on Thursday evening, for the final event from Ushuaia. The women's slalom is where we will start, and Viktoria Zaytseva, the 18-year-old from Vale, getting the victory. She's younger than me. Oh dear. And top 10 in the NORAM standings last season. She won by 0.43 of a second, ahead of Francesca Baruthi Fariol. What a moment for the Argentinians at home.
Yeah, great fun. Great.
What they'd waited all series for.
Yeah.
And Annika Hunt coming through for her second podium of the weekend in 3rd. More on her in a moment. Annick Brondley finishing 4th. Miharis Roof 5th in this one. And once again, 2 Brits in the top 10.
Yeah, that's good. Very good.
Anything else to touch on from the women's there?
No, I think that's...
We will just round up the men's, and then we have got a clip. So, bear with. The men's on day 2 from the slalom was tight. 0.7 of a second, separating the top 9 in this one. Was some of the tightest stuff we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I think it might be the tightest race we've seen so far, in fact. And this one was won by Spain and was won, Alan, by Joachim Salrich.
All right, yeah. That's the name.
He's just moved to Nordica.
Oh, yeah.
First couple of races here for him on new skis. He's now 32. He went to finals in 2022 and has just kind of kept on chipping away 3 World Cup top 10s in his career. And he just rocks up in Argentina, 9th on day 1. Not at his best, I would say, but he looked absolutely delighted from the pictures and videos I've seen to win on day 2.
That's great. It's great, isn't it?
Second in back-to-back days for Jesper Poyalainen, just 900ths of a second off the pace today.
Yeah.
And third did go to Fabian Himmelsbach, with Germany getting themselves on the slalom podium. He finished just 900ths of a second ahead of his teammate Dominik Zerhock. And a shout-out for 5th place for Japan's Shiro Aihara, who is one of my favourite ski racers because of his reaction when he scored World Cup points in Wengen. Or was it Adelboden? One of them.
Yeah.
But he just was wheeling around the finish area. He was sat in the leader's position. I think he must have absolutely sprinted to the seat just to have some moment in there.
Yeah.
he had the biggest smile in Switzerland when he was sat there, and I think we spoke about it for maybe 5 minutes when it had happened, and every time I see his name, it puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
So Shiro, get in touch, get on the podcast, sunshine. There we go. 6th and 7th for Switzerland as well. Joel Lutolf and Reto Makler up there again.
Yeah.
You were breathing as if you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but not I wasn't going to speak then, but I was going to say to everybody, listen to these names, because in a few years' time, these are the names that'll be cropping up week in, week out on the World Cups.
A message to everybody.
A message, yeah. They will.
Well, you look at these races, and it is interesting to follow careers from this, because some of them you'll know. Obviously, there's a lot of those names you'll know from watching World Cups week in, week out. There's a lot of those names that are up there that haven't quite made that break. And like we were saying about this late development, don't expect it necessarily now. There'll be one that maybe pops up next year.
Yeah.
But then 5 years down the line, we might think, didn't they do well in South America a few years ago?
Yeah.
And there's certain athletes that will always come to these races and always trust kind of the Southern Hemisphere system of using the European summer to do these races and have success that carries them through. Yeah. So, don't be surprised if some of those guys and girls we mentioned there are scoring World Cup points in Levy.
That's true. Yeah.
That is the end of part 1. So before we get into part 2, let's share our fantastic conversation that we've just recorded, in fact, with Annika Hunt. She scored 2 South American Cup podiums this week for the USA. She's heading back now, but I'll let her tell you more of her own plans for what is coming next. But it was great to chat to someone on the ground there, Al.
It is indeed, yeah. It's very good to be able to chat to someone who can tell you exactly. Basically, because we can't see. We've
not watched these races.
We can't watch the races, so it's good to speak to somebody who not only watches them but takes part in them.
Yeah,
and so fresh off the press, if you like, because it's only just happened.
Yeah,
so it's great.
I can tell you that right now Annika Hunt leads the overall South American Cup standings and sits 3rd in the slalom. She's 6 points ahead of her teammate Kirsty Moritz, but we believe the US team are not going to race more South American Cups this year, or certainly the C team that these girls are a part of. So that will change, but for now, she's been the fastest girl this week overall. So let's hear from her now. This is what we heard earlier with Annika Hunt. Enjoy. Annika, welcome to the Skiing is Believing podcast. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Firstly, congrats on the couple of podiums that you've claimed this week in Argentina. How have conditions been down there? How has this race feeling been?
Thank you. Conditions have been great. We've been down here for about 3 weeks training, and the snow has kind of gotten better and better each day and each week. And I would say the conditions were perfect for the last 4 days of racing. We started with 2 GS days, and the race hill it's an awesome hill. It's got a lot of steep sections and then some false flats, and sort of like a jump, and in slalom was just a big roll. And the snow's been awesome. It's been icy and grippy. And even today, we thought it would maybe be a little bit softer because it snowed on us last night. But once we did a slip, the surface underneath was perfect. So it was some really quality races, I would say.
We were in touch earlier in the week. You weren't as happy as you hoped you might be with the giant slalom performances, but to get back on the podium, back in the lead for a little bit there as well, how was that to really show up in those slaloms and I presume get the results you would have liked?
It was really nice. Yeah, overall, I was happy to get back in the start gate. It's been over a year and a half since I raced GS, because last season I started a couple slalom races before I was injured, but I didn't race any GS. And so coming back from injury and not having a ton of training under my belt so far, but having a little bit, it was nice to get back in the start gate. But I think my GS, I have a lot of work to do, but I'm excited. And I think the results I wasn't necessarily happy about, but they've definitely motivated me and gotten me excited to improve in my GS, and to they've gotten me fired up to race some more. And then the slaloms were nice. I think I got a little bit of confidence from some fast runs. I wouldn't say I put together 2 great runs on either day, but I think these races were more like training anyway, and so I was kind of working on different focuses and trying to bring more aggression and attack into my second runs. And so I was happy with some good turns, some good skiing. And again, same with like in GS, I'm excited for the race season to come. And the results in slalom brought a little bit of confidence after being injured, which was nice.
Yeah, you sound very positive. And does the effect of the podiums, although you say you're treating them as training, do you think the effect of them will actually help you when the season gets into full swing? Do you think the positiveness will increase?
Sorry, can you repeat the question one more time? It cut out really quick.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, you seem very positive. Do you think that your performances in Argentina are going to benefit you when you get onto the main circuits?
First of all, thank you. And I think yes. I think every race, no matter the outcome, is beneficial. I think you can learn from it no matter what. Racing this early in the season, I mean, it's summer and it's early for anyone, but I feel like especially for me, it's a little early just because I haven't had a lot of training coming back from injury yet. But I think you can learn something from any race and training. And I think these races were sort of like training, which is nice. And I think I think they'll help me later on. And especially just the like motivation and excitement to race again. Since it's been a while since I've raced, I forgot, because training is fun and I love working on technique and improving, but I missed the competitive spark from racing and just that aspect of it. So it's definitely gotten me excited.
Yeah, do you feel you need to improve your fitness after a long layoff? Do you feel that's coming on nicely?
I think it's come on really nicely. I think I've actually gotten stronger after injury because I spent so much time in the gym, and I spent extra time doing core and upper body and that sort of thing, and a lot of biking when I couldn't run or lift or do a lot of impact training when my knee was fully injured. And then through rehab and just this whole summer coming back, I've been training a lot, and I think I'm probably the most fit I've been so far. So that's exciting, and that's given me a lot of confidence going into getting back into skiing and racing and everything. And so fitness-wise, I'm feeling good, and I'm going home in a couple days, and then I'll have another month of training. Fitness training, so I think I'll be set, and that'll be excited. Sorry about the noise. Also, there's some construction or something going on upstairs.
No worries. And is it the B team group that's there in the minute from the US girls?
C team.
C.
The Europa Cup team. Yeah.
So very nice to share the podium on both days with teammates, I'm sure, and for Viktoria to get the win today.
Yes, it was really exciting. Yeah, for Vika to get the win was awesome. And I think our team has been building off of each other a little bit, and we're learning a lot from each other. So that's been cool and exciting.
Will you be heading back on snow before the European American season comes around, or You say you're heading home for physical training now. Will you be back in the Southern Hemisphere?
We won't be back in the Southern Hemisphere. We're going to Europe end of September. We'll go train indoors for a couple days and then probably go to Valsanalis and then Solden probably. So we'll be in Europe for end of September into October, I would say, for a couple weeks or almost a month. And then another short break, and then the season starts, basically.
Yeah.
The season starts. Then it's Levy.
Yeah, then it's Levy. And yeah, so that'll be really exciting.
It's just around the corner, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it always comes so fast. So
Yeah.
How does this kind of excite you for that? Do you want to go again now? Do you want to be like, bring on Levy? I know it's what, 2.5 months away, but how much motivation is there to just keep going with the racing now?
a lot, I would say. Absolutely. I'm so excited. I was actually thinking about this. We were driving back because in Ushuaia here, we drive like 40 minutes from the mountain to our hotel. And so I've been doing a lot of reflecting after the races, after training, whatever, on the drives home. And today I was thinking just about my takeaways from the races. And one of the big ones was just how excited I am for the season to start. And last year, the only races I really did were my first couple World Cup starts. And I was so nervous for those races, and I was excited, but I also was nervous and feel like I didn't bring my best skiing because I was, mentally nervous and whatever. But I think now that I've kind of gotten those first ones out of the way, and now that I've had some training, and it's been, when Levy comes, it'll be, a year obviously since my debut. And I think I have so much more excitement and motivation for because I don't have my own World Cup start this year. So if I do get to use a spot for any of those World Cup races, I think I would be so excited to do that. And yeah, I'm like dreaming about it. I think last year I was nervous for my debut, and now I'm just like, I can't wait to hopefully get another spot and another chance. And yeah, these races have definitely fired me up for that.
We speak so much on here about the US team and the strength of it, predominantly the World Cup level, but it's very clear to me, looking at these results sheets from New Zealand and South America this week, that the next generation is very much coming, if not here already. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's so awesome, and I think a lot of it stems from the World Cup team doing so well, and just overall, for me, seeing the World Cup girls and being able to train with them a little bit before I did do my first World Cup starts, I learned a lot from them. Being with them made me want to be on that team so much more, and seeing some of the younger girls, like on my team, Logan, for instance, Logan Grosseter, do so well. And I feel like we build off of each other and learn so much from each other. And so when the World Cup team does well, it inspires and motivates the younger girls to do well, the Europa Cup level, and then the FIS level, and so on and so forth. And so I think it's so cool to be kind of a part of that, and to have girls around my age and older than me to look up to and to learn from, but also to sort of inspire younger girls. Yeah. So yeah, it's cool to be a part of.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Again, congratulations on the results this week, and hopefully we will manage to find some time in Levy this year if you get that start.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, and good luck in the rest of the races.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, have a good one.
Welcome back to this episode of the Skiing is Believing podcast. Really good stuff there from Annika. So thank you very much to her for coming on. In part 3, I suppose you could call it part 3, we will review the Mt Hutt New Zealand races, but they have not yet finished. So that is why the lighting may be different, the clothing may be different, and will be from the future, if you like. Yeah. So join us in part 3 for more See you on the other side of this. Hello and welcome back to this episode of the Skiing is Believing podcast, officially brought to you by Ski Racing Media. In part 3 here, we will review the latest New Zealand Cup action, the first of the New Zealand Cup action for the season, from Mt Hutt, where conditions were challenging, to say the very least. I've seen some pictures, I've seen some videos across social media, which you might well have seen yourself. But you made a good point that these athletes that are starting a little bit further in the back in the World Cup pack will have to get used to conditions similar to this, maybe not quite as difficult with some of the tracks that were set out on this course from the very start.
Yeah, I mean, in a way it's a good thing, because you're not going to get pristine tracks all the time. You're going to have to put up with some of the roughing. And something like this, in conditions like they're facing at the moment, helps them to really realise it's a long road. And also it gives them the encouragement to do well so that they can get the points up and they can actually move up that start list.
Yes, of course. So Monday was women on giant slalom. The first run of the men's giant slalom also went on Monday, but they started so late on in the afternoon that they had to move the second run to Tuesday. But let's start with the women, where America's Elizabeth Bocock absolutely dominated the field. 2 Brits completing the podium, Molly Butler in second and Victoria Palla in third. It was very, very good to see those flags flying high towards the top of the table. But firstly, Alan, how big are we on the Bocock sisters going into next season?
Well, I think, I thought last season, to be quite honest, they would break through.
And I would say Mary did.
Yeah.
Super G finals. Yeah. Elizabeth, maybe not quite as much as we expected, but she's still only 21.
Yeah, I know.
Is it? 20, sorry, not 21 until next week.
2 diamonds there. Absolutely. You know, if they progress like they have done and maintain it, get consistency, then they will be definitely featuring a lot more in good positions.
This was a race that Elizabeth didn't need to do. She's in the top 60 in the world in terms of giant slalom ranking. You know, she started World Cups at the top 30 in the discipline, but great to see one of the top athletes, one of the very top Americans, coming down here and taking on the rest of the world, I suppose.
Yeah, it is good.
And how about the Brits? Butler and Palla in giant slalom, both on the podium.
Oh, excellent. It's what we need. It's a shot in the arm for us. We need somebody performing on the women's side, but to do it in the GS is a bonus, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive confidence for them in that second discipline of theirs as well, to feature on a podium in their first race of the season.
Yeah.
As for fourth, that went to Canada. Ariane Forget was in fourth, just over 2 seconds behind Bocock. Fifth for Faye Buff, best of the Swiss, and the next American, Liv Moritz, finishing in 6th position. It was the British coach, Anthony Herrisett, that actually set this first run pattern of turns, and it worked very well for Molly and Vicky. That is safe to say. Let's move to the men's giant slalom competition. As I say, half of this was run on Monday, half on Tuesday, so difficult, I would say, to find consistency over the course of 2 runs, with them being the best part of 20 hours apart.
Yeah.
But the win went to 19-year-old Norwegian Storm Andre Hagen. Remember the name, because the conveyor belt is real, Alan.
Yeah, it is. Well, when you mentioned it to me before, I thought, oh no, another one.
Oh no.
But it's not a bad one, because it's not a difficult one to remember.
Another Hagen.
Yeah.
Not Hagen, Hagen.
Hagen, yeah.
He won by just over 0.6 of a second ahead of a familiar name for us here on the Skiing is Believing podcast, Denmark's Christian Borgnæs. Good to see him back on the podium. He took the New Zealand Cup giant slalom title last season, and he's back there again, challenging for it this year. A second off the pace in third. He's not a familiar name with me, but he certainly is now. Francesco Riccardo Zucchini, who has never started a World Cup. He's 23. Taken a little bit longer to kind of make that breakthrough. Had a decent Europa Cup giant slalom season, 24-25. But that is a really great result for him. Came from bid 35 to finish third. And was 900ths ahead of the eldest of the Slovakian brothers, Adam Jampa. He finished fourth with 2 Norwegians, making it 3 Norwegians in the top 6, Magnus Breivik and Alexander Berg Torpa. I believe that's how you pronounce it anyway. And 7th for Jurkarov, formerly of Team Global Racing, as well as Borgnes. Do you want to touch on the Jampa boys there, maybe, Al?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Andreas did not finish.
Oh, no.
And Teo was way down, 45th for him.
Right.
Very much struggled with conditions and made that known on social media this week.
Yeah. Yeah, they've absolutely. It's great to have 3 brothers.
Adam turns 36 next month.
Yeah, I was going to say he's getting to the twilight, isn't he?
Still producing though.
Yeah.
I remember thinking last year, watching them down in these New Zealand races, and when you hit a few podiums in a space of time, they were in kind of title contention, the both of them last year. In Coronet Peak anyway. Then you think, it'd be great to go and see them do it. I think Andy had 2 World Cup point scores last year, and he came into Solden. Remember that electric run he put down? It was like, here we go. The Jampa boys are back.
Yeah.
And they didn't quite have that level of consistency, but when they're coming from 50s and 60s, it's difficult, so difficult. That's why these races are so helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shall we turn our attention to the slalom, starting with the women's from Thursday? And this was another American victory. This went to Liv Moritz, third of a second ahead of Aileen Daniot, who's a familiar name from the Swiss World Cup team. And again on that podium, Molly Butler in third position for Great Britain. But how about Moritz, another American youngster breaking through? 13th for her in Spindler of Mlin in January for her first and to date only World Cup point score.
Yeah.
But she's another one. Straight in there, 21-year-old.
Yeah. And it's their age as well, isn't it? I mean, they're coming in, but they're not coming in mature. They're coming in still young.
Do you think the US women could dominate next season? You're talking about 5 or 6 of them in the points very consistently, and quite often someone on the podium.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I actually think that. Yeah. I said it before today that I think we will see quite a lot of USA athletes, the ladies.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we'll see quite a lot of them figuring on podiums and top 5, 10.
Yeah,
definitely,
absolutely. 2 Swiss in the top 4 in this one. Daniot in second. Teammate Emilie Klopfenstein finished 4th. Decent way behind Butler, though. And Canada, again, scoring a top 5 finish with Amelia Spark.
Oh, yeah. Good.
She's been to World Cup slalom finals before. It's a good level field. She's now 28, not quite the season she was hoping for, and she'll be starting just outside the 30 again on World Cups next year. So I suppose starting 31 is better than starting 35. That's probably her goal for these races.
Exactly.
Canada, who today have appointed a new women's head coach.
Really?
I don't have his name, but I'll come to it later in the show. He was in the role before and has returned after 6 years away. But more on that in a moment. Best of the New Zealanders, Michaela Smith, on her return finishing in 6th. Men's event, same day. Austrian winner, Christoph Meisel, finishing just 1900ths of a second ahead of American Jevin Palmquist, one of the 3 Palmquist brothers that are racing in New Zealand again this summer. Jevin is just 19 years old. Third went to Jonas Scabar of France, 0.39 off the pace he was. And he came from way down the start list.
Yeah.
8th after first run, moving all the way up to 3rd come the end of the day on a French course set in that second run. Former Europa Cup athlete Jeremy Lagier is now coaching down there. Scabar is just 21 out of Maribel. And I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
A double World Junior champion in the team events.
Yeah.
Season before last in combined and parallel. and he's a talent to watch out for. Fourth went to Alec Jackson as the New Zealanders at home missed the podium by just 0.05 of a second. And fifth went to Japan and Seigo Kato, who was absolutely fantastic when I watched the New Zealand Cup races down there last season. Freddie Carrick-Smith finished up 8th for Great Britain, just 0.09 of a second behind Thomas Lane, who himself was pretty close to the time of Australia's Henry Hayden in 6th. Is there anything you want to pick up on there, Alan?
No, I think, well, it's good to get it going again, isn't it? And it's good to get New Zealand racing, South America racing.
Yeah.
And it's easing us into the hard stuff, isn't it?
Just a word on Jevin Palmquist. Silver for him in the men's team combined at the World Juniors this year. He turned 19 in March. Him and his brothers all out of Team Summit, Colorado, on the atomic gear. And third position in the NORAM standings for him last season in slalom. Obviously only at 18 then. The kind of character that can join this group that America are building on. Him and his brother, Cooper Puckett, Maxi Hoda, all very talented under... I think all of those I mentioned there, under 22 on the US slalom men's team, will be, I'm expecting 1, 2, maybe even 3 of them to break through this year and hit those points, which I know Puckett did in leg E, I believe.
Yeah.
Cooper. Yeah. I think he did when we were there.
He did,
we spoke to him,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure they'll be hoping for another breakthrough season, whether it is World Juniors, whether it is NORAMs or Worlds. Let's come to the men's event from Friday, which as we speak is today, but happened last night for us, but happened in the morning in New Zealand. A lot of these athletes have now already transported or are probably currently driving over to Queenstown, where those big events will be in Coronet Peak in a couple of weeks' time, and where the core of the training will be for a lot of teams this summer. And in the men's slalom event here, Jonas Scabar, France, the aforementioned Jonas Scabar, winning by 1.14 seconds ahead of Christoph Meisel, who made it 2 podiums from 2. But Alan Rigg, 3rd place in one of his first races on the Van Diers, Luca Carrick-Smith.
That's very good, that. Excellent.
What would you class as a good time in New Zealand for Luca?
Well, if he can sustain his consistency up there in podiums if possible, certainly.
Ideally podiums.
Yeah, but if he can sustain his consistency, what sort of numbers is he's starting from?
He moved right up now. He'll be starting probably top group.
Yeah, so
top 15 at the world.
You would be expecting him to be finishing up there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? Really?
And he's certainly got the skills.
Yeah, and if he can have a good... I think...
He didn't start in that position in this race, that's important.
No.
He started in the 20s, the late 20s, I believe. Yeah. Because I think they were 27 and 29. Freddie was slightly earlier. And he finished 5th.
Oh, right.
2 Carrick-Smiths in the top 5. 2 Brits in the top 5.
Yeah, I think if they can put together some strong results here in New Zealand, then they'll go into the... it's in the season now, really, isn't it?
I mean, I fancied Freddie in the giant slaloms here. He was starting in a tricky position, and the conditions, as we've mentioned, were not ideal for big numbers.
Yeah.
But he's now ranked 5th in the slalom standings for the season so far. Luca's 9th, so they'll both be in that top 10 when we do get it to Coronet Peak.
Yeah.
And in GS, Freddie picked up some points, but it's not quite yet enough to have him in the top 15. But if you're talking, you've got 2 races in Coronet Peak. If in the first one you can, I don't see why you can't go and get a podium from that position. He's done it on the Europa Cup circuit this year. And the second one, you're in the top group. It's a lot easier to do. Even in these races, conditions are so crucial. The wind can come in, the fog can drop. It's very difficult to have a consistent day in New Zealand, particularly in Coronet Peak, because I've seen it the last couple of years when I've been sat up waiting for races to start at God knows what time. But it's what we love. It's what we love. Let's turn our attention to the women's event. The final one from this episode. I don't think there's been an episode in the history of the podcast where we've talked about so many races.
No, I agree.
But we're just so excited to get the season started with results coming in with names that we are very, very familiar with. And a very, very familiar name got the win just today in a women's slalom from Mt Hutt, because by 0.45 of a second ahead of the Swiss Daniot and Klopfenstein, it was a statement performance, a statement victory from Britain's Molly Butler. Alan Rigg.
Absolutely thrilled.
Molly Butler won.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, when we talked to her last year in London, she just talked as though she was expecting to.
Just confident, so
confident. Yeah, just a very positive girl.
And she hasn't always had the results to match that confidence.
No.
She does now.
Yeah.
But like she still believes in herself so much, even when she was hitting DNFs or not making top 30s in Europe, as whatever it was. There have been a couple of different setbacks, not necessarily injury-wise, like you might initially think of a setback, but for different reasons. I'm just going to say this now. Victoria Palla finished 13th in this race. Have the British selection committee got a bit of a head scratch and a bit of thinking to do before Levy?
Yeah, that's good.
It is very good.
That's good, as long as they come out with the right solution. And don't ask me what the right solution is, because people get paid lots of money to decide that.
Because there's also an athlete who's got a pretty famous family who will rightly say, I should be there.
Yeah.
And she's had her injury troubles, and I'm of course talking about Reece Bell.
Yeah.
In the past, she's done these New Zealand races and been there.
Yeah.
Been in that top 5, top 10, maybe even on the podium. But to win this race is different to... I think second or third here is very good. A win is amazing.
Yeah.
That's how I would put it in terms of New Zealand. And in terms of this for Molly, the important thing to point out is she was third from first run. Daniel skied into second behind her. Molly was third. And then Liv Moritz, who was leading, skied out.
Yeah.
Whether that would have changed the outcome, we can't say. Because she is the winner, ultimately, at the end of the day. What would have happened otherwise didn't happen.
Yeah.
And, what... Does she have to manage expectations a little bit now, where there's probably going to be a stronger start fielding Coronet?
I think...
Will she? Because she's made it 3 podiums out of 3 this week.
Yeah. If she can follow that up, the Coronet Peak, with what she's been doing this week,
she'll be New Zealand Cup champion.
Yeah, and all, yeah. but it also, I don't think it gives them an headache. I think they should be saying, "Oh, thank goodness we've not got much to do." She should be given the opportunity.
The other thing I would say is very difficult to say, right, okay, and I know they've done this in the past. Vicky gets the first couple, Reece gets the next couple. And then it kind of got a bit difficult from there, because I can understand why Reece does the races in America to save travel and to save that kind of cost.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, you should be sending the best athlete. Based on ranking, Molly isn't that, but based on results...
Yeah.
I mean, she's beaten Vicky here by 3.5 seconds.
Yeah. It's difficult.
But I would also fight Vicky's corner. Because she hasn't been given the opportunities when she could have done, and she was probably the athlete that should have gone to the Olympics, the athlete that should be there every week.
It's very difficult, isn't it? When you've got 3 vying for 1.
Yeah.
Because...
And that's why we just need someone to open up that second spot.
Yeah. And if you keep sort of rotating, then they're not getting that.
No.
They're not getting that experience.
Molly's 20 is the other thing I would say.
Yeah.
That bodes very well for me.
Yeah, I think we're getting into a good situation with the women, but they've got to be handled properly, and it's got to make sure that if somebody's worthy of a place, they get it.
Yeah, absolutely. She's obviously come into form, obviously feeling good.
Yeah.
She was very, very happy when she won. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Because of what she posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see those races in New Zealand when there is more at stake. There is a bigger start field. There is kind of more challenges and potentially, you would say, better conditions. It's a longer course.
Yeah.
Very much could change things. I think could be quite important in deciding these races. It's not. This is almost a sprint slalom, if that exists.
Yeah.
So the next race is coming up. There's some FIS events in Cardrona, New Zealand, starting Tuesday and Wednesday, but we will cover those results when they come out, depending on if they go ahead as well as start field and stuff. South American Cup races get back underway next Friday with a weekend schedule of GS and slalom in El Colorado and La Pava for the men and women. One disciplined race each. It is the national championships in New Zealand next Monday and Tuesday before the South American Cup in La Pava begins with the speed events, and New Zealand Cup gets back underway with Tech from Coronet Peak between the 4th and 7th of September. We'll have all of those Continental Cup events covered over the next few weeks and beyond, because then we're getting into it in Argentina as well. There were supposed to be more New Zealand Cups started on Monday again, but those have all been cancelled in Thredbo, Australia. That would have been an extra 8 events. So very much a chance for the Brits to feature amongst the titles in Coronet.
It'll be good.
It'll all come down to that now.
It'll be great, that.
And hopefully you might be able to hear our voices, or certainly mine, across the coverage there. So go and check that out. Go and check out my pieces on Ski Racing Media as well. That should be dropping over the course, if not Friday night, Saturday morning. Reviewing these races, chatting about them, and giving more insight into how they went, as well as the results. A couple of pictures as well, I believe I've got to share there. So go and check that out. That one last thing I will mention is the new head coach of the women's US Canadian team. Give me 1 second whilst I pull it up. Alan, how well are you at filling in? Go.
Yeah. Okay. It is exciting. We're getting into it more now. We've got these races coming up, some which have gone, and it just gives you that impetus to think, well, here we go. And it's even made it better with some of our athletes doing well.
The Brits and the Americans.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's been really good. And hopefully, we did promise that when we started, that we would cover not just the World Cup, but other events as well. And that's what we're doing.
Canada have appointed a new head coach. This is the post put out by Martin Ruffner today. Here we go again. Sometimes life comes full circle. After 7 years with Alpine Canada, 2013 to 2020, and a 6-year break, I'm returning to ski racing. I'm excited to announce that I am back as head coach of the Canadian women's Alpine team, and soon I'm on my way to our first training camp in Ushuaia, Argentina. Canada has always felt like a second home to me, and I'm incredibly excited to return to the coaching side of the sport and work with the team throughout the 2026-27 World Championship season. Our goal is to keep developing, push each other, and bring our best to every day and every race. I'm looking forward to this new chapter, the challenges ahead, and being back with the team.
Oh, good. That's good.
This was another one where I didn't really realise there was a vacant position.
No.
And it's taken till August, late August, to appoint that position.
Yeah.
Could you argue that this was a rushed decision?
I think it may well have been. Maybe they didn't expect to have. Maybe they wanted. No, I won't say they
Francis Royal left in April, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm not saying they wanted somebody else, but they probably couldn't make their minds up. And then when summer comes, they decide we'll leave it a little bit.
The girls are already down there in Argentina. They've been training for nearly a week.
Yeah.
without a coach.
Yeah.
Or a head coach, anyway. I know there'll be someone that'll
There'll be coaches there, yeah. Of course.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Women's tech group. There's a strong group. There's Valerie Grenier's winning races. Ali Nolmeyer, Amelia Smart, Cassidy Gray, Britt Richardson.
Yeah.
All consistently score points.
Yeah.
What are their expectations? What is Martin Ruffner's job here to come in and do?
I think he's got to get them to the next level. He's got to get them consistently scoring big points.
Yeah.
You know.
I would say, I mean, Grenier is the only one in that I've mentioned there that's hit a podium.
Yeah.
Which you could argue could definitely not be the case.
Yeah.
Like a Richardson, even Gray, definitely Nolmeyer in the past has been in podium form. And I know a lot of those girls have had setbacks with injuries. Amelia Smart, Ali Nolmeyer speaks about her back all the time. But yeah, exciting to see. As you know, new CEO the other day for Alpine Canada, now a new head coach for the women's tech group. It's
good. It's good.
Summer change, you could argue.
Yeah. So keep our eye on that one.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure we will. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Long feature review of races, which is new for us at this time, but it's been a while and it's good to be back talking about live ski racing, as I said at the top of the show.
Cheers.
And we will be back the start of next week with another interview that will be dropping very shortly as well. So stay tuned for that. Huge thank you, of course, to Ski Racing Media for their continued partnership and coverage and great content across the board, interviews, reviews, everything you need throughout the summer to take us up to and including the 2026-27 World Cup season, which isn't actually that far away now.
And you're getting excited already.
2 months. London Snow Show will have gone. We'll be in the week of Solden. We'll be talking about predictions.
I know.
We'll be talking about, will Julia Scheib win back-to-back Soldens? Will Odermatt win again? These are all the questions you have to start thinking about, Alan.
Oh yeah, how do you know I'm not doing?
Well, you probably are.
I probably am.
You probably are. But thank you very much for listening. All the very best. Have a great weekend, and we will
ski later.
Ski later. Goodbye for now.
Bye.